Royal Caribbean has announced more Icon-class ships are on the way. Welcome back to another video. My name is Brandon. If you like cruise news, cruise vlogs, ship tours, and ship spotting, you're in the right place. Hit that subscribe button down below and the notification bell to be notified every time we upload a new video. But without further ado, let's jump right into today's video as we have more Icon-class ships on the way from Royal Caribbean. Royal Caribbean's Icon-class ships are the largest ships in the world right now at 250,000 tons, with Icon of the Seas being the first ship back in 2024 and Star of the Seas the follow-up in the second in class that debuted last month in August, at least at the time of recording this. So those two are completed and ready to go and already sailing and taking passengers, but we've already got two more that are actively under construction, that being the Legend of the Seas, not to be confused with the Vision-class ship from 1995, and we also have a fourth one on the way as well. Legend of the Seas will make her debut next year in the Mediterranean before making her way over to Fort Lauderdale for 6 and 8 night cruises, and the fourth ship is currently unnamed, so we're going to deem her Icon 4 for the time being. But let me know down in the comments what you think they're going to name this fourth ship in the Icon class. But, of course, the big news out of yesterday from Royal Caribbean is the fact that we are getting a fifth ship confirmed ordered for the Icon class. So we officially have 5 confirmed orders of the Icon class, being Icon, Star, Legend, and now 4 and 5. This came with big news as a huge partnership and collaboration with Meyer Turku Shipyard in Finland for Royal Caribbean between now and 2026. So they've basically locked in Meyer Turku for the next 10 years. And with the announcement of that big project and collaboration is that we now have an option for a 7th ship in the Icon class as well. With options in these ship agreements and these ship deals, contracts, whatever you want to call it, 99% of the time it is very likely that we are going to see all 7 of these built. Usually these are typically used as placeholders to at least secure the dock space for a new build whenever ships are being constructed. It kind of gives them a fallback just in case market conditions, collapse, get better, get worse, anything like that. So just in case something were to happen, they're not truly locked in this far out to say a 7th Icon class ship coming in 2030. Although 2030 is more of a example, I do think actually the timing would line up. This 7th Icon class ship likely would come in that time frame. So with Icon 7 out of the way, at least for the moment, let's jump back to Icon number 5 that was officially ordered as of yesterday. This ship is set to debut in 2028, surprisingly and incredibly alongside yet another Oasis-class ship. Oasis 7, currently unnamed as well, is actually being built in Shantier's Shipyard over in France, who have actually been building the previous set of Oasis-class ships from Harmony all the way up to the recent Utopia from last year. Since they are being built in different shipyards, it gives them enough time and availability to have 2 ships of this insane size to be built simultaneously, one being in France, one being up in Turku. Now, part of the agreement that most future ships from Royal Caribbean will be built up in Turku, this one, the plan and contract was already in place well before this agreement. So incredible to think about, we are actually for the second time going to get an Oasis and Icon class ship within the span of about 6 to 12 months of each other. Now, of course, with Oasis 5, 6, and 7, all we really know of these ships, and same really goes for Icon 4 as well, no names for these ships yet, and we also don't know home ports or anything like that. But as we've come to realize and see for ourselves with the Oasis class is that as of right now, we're starting to only get them in the major home ports, but as we begin to get 4, 5, 6, 7 plus, we begin to finally see these ships moving to different home ports. So I wouldn't be surprised after the arrival of 4 and especially 5 that we will probably see something different in Miami, or 2 of them in Miami, and the possibility of them being paired up in Fort Lauderdale. And there's even the possibility, and Michael Bailey has even said it himself, there's still possibilities that Galveston will eventually get an Icon class ship. I know the Oasis class fits up in Bayonne, New Jersey, so with the Verrazano Bridge, I'm not sure if there's much of a height difference to justify being able to get that in versus the Oasis class, but that's still a possibility if it is. And there's even the idea of putting these over in Europe for the Mediterranean and things like that as well. So we can start to see these going to different regions in not only the US, but other regions of the world as well. And quickly, as I mentioned earlier, I do want to go over the announcement of the statement put out by Meyer Turku earlier yesterday. And I'm going to kind of put this word for word of what they said, just because it's the easiest way to do it without paraphrasing. But together with Royal Caribbean Group, we have entered into an agreement that secures Royal Caribbean the right to build ships at Turku Shipyard through 2036. Long-term framework agreement also confirms the order of a 5th Icon-class ship and options for 6 and 7. So insane to think about that they've actually locked in a shipyard basically to build their ships almost exclusively for the next 10 years. And that's kind of a big deal for a few reasons. One, you don't see that very often. Usually it's whoever gives the best deal and things like that. But Meyer Turku has actually been building some of the best ships out in the industry lately, as they've done the XL ships, or at least the first two for Carnival with Mardi Gras and Celebration. But they've also done Oasis and Allure originally, and they've also done all of the Icon class to this point. And Meyer Papenburg has even done all of the Quantum class ships to that point. Although the Meyer Papenburg shipyard doesn't really have a whole lot to do with this, Turku is the only ones that can actually fit these Icon class ships. Now, they do mention specifically the Icon class ships, and that's great because, of course, that's what they're building. But that does open the option or the possibility of the looming Project Discovery that's kind of sitting, I want to say, for lack of better terms, stagnant in the background. We don't really know anything about those ships. They've kind of been teasing them for the past 2 years, but we've seen absolutely zero movement. So with this agreement, this kind of secures spots for them to build those ships finally, if that's where they're planning to go. Now, I do think those Project Discovery ships are coming around and they will eventually come to fruition, especially through this agreement, makes them much more likely. But as of right now, at least, they're still kind of sitting in the background just as an idea. But moving back to the Icon class, and it's really hard to even imagine something so large. These Icon class, I've been on both of the current ones, and it's still incredible just seeing these ships in person and how large they are. And if you've never seen these things in person, it's incredible of what the reaction will be when you finally do. And imagining 7 of these eventually is just hard to even imagine. And it's really hard to imagine or picture these ships selling out consistently and filling up consistently every single week and every 7 days. But Royal Caribbean continues to cite that their demand for these ships and for the Icon class and even the Oasis class is still just so incredibly high. And that is partially why we do see the prices that we see for the current existing Icon class ships, is that Economics 101 always told us supply versus demand. There is only 2 of these things right now, and so the supply is not there to match the demand. The demand is way, way higher than Royal Caribbean could have ever imagined for these ships, and that's why we're now going to see 7 of them. And that's why we see 7 Oasis class ships as well. So eventually, once we start to get more and more of these ships, the prices, at least for the existing ones, will be older and will start to come down a little bit just to kind of match the whole supply-demand nonsense. So with all of that now in mind, I've kind of done my rant now. So if you're new to the channel, I like to kind of put the news in the front and then kind of just talk about everything cumulative, to kind of spread throughout the video. But with that, the gist of everything, again, just summarized here really quickly, is that Icon number 5 is officially confirmed. 6 and 7 are most likely on the way as well. And with that, if you guys enjoyed today's cruise news video, leave a like. Have you ever sailed on an Icon class cruise ship? Have you sailed on Icon or Star? Or are you booked on Legend or hoping that the Icon number 4 comes to a home port near you? Let me know down in the comments. If you guys enjoyed it, of course, as I mentioned, leave a like and subscribe down below. If you'd like to directly help out the channel and support the channel, and you'd like to book your next cruise, use the affiliate links down below. Book your next cruise with my friends over at cruisesit.com, and their agents will take very good care of you and your next cruise. And if you'd like a walkthrough tour of these ships to get an idea of what to expect on board, I have a link at the end of the video here in just a moment to walkthrough tours of both Icon and Star of the Seas. Anyways, with that, my name is Brandon. I hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you in the next video.